The movie begins by showing a beautiful and popular teenage high school girl named Baek Ho Rang from a wealthy family. Many students at her school recognize her, and Ho Rang also has big followers on social media. But even though she has many fans, not a few people also hate her because her attitude is cold and seems arrogant. She doesn't have many close friends at her school, and her only friend is a cheerful male student named Kim Sang Hyub. One morning, the school's broadcasting club was having a meeting to discuss plans for their club activities for the next semester. The head of the school's broadcasting club is a model boy named Go Eun Taek, one of the school's handsome and popular students. However, Eun Taek is obsessed with punctuality and only cares about those close to him. At the meeting, the broadcasting club decides to find a new announcer for their club, and they agree to recruit Ho Rang to fill the position. Apart from knowing that Ho Rang has a melodious voice, they also think that her popularity can boost the publicity of their club. In the afternoon after school, Eun Taek went to see Ho Rang and asked her to join the school broadcasting club, but she rejected the offer because club activities were too much trouble for her. The next morning, as Eun Taek leaves for school, he runs into Ho Rang again on the bus. Seeing her, who looked very sleepy, he took the initiative to close the bus windows so that she could sleep comfortably. But the atmosphere suddenly turned awkward when Ho Rang suddenly woke up, and their eyes met each other from a very close distance. Every day, the school's broadcast club will read out selected messages sent to their social media accounts, and each broadcaster who reads the message will leave a small comment in response. During the message reading session, Ho Rang was busy relaxing in the school garden while leaning against a tree alone. But when she accidentally heard the message, she suddenly panicked and was scared because she discovered the mysterious message was intended for her. Most people who heard the message might think it was just satirical, but for Ho Rang, the message could reveal her deepest past secrets. After the incident, Ho Rang comes to the broadcasting club room and accepts Eun Taek's offer to become a new member of the broadcasting club, hoping that she can find out who the sender of the previous mysterious message was. Another broadcasting club member named Ji So-hyun felt uncomfortable with Ho Rang's presence at the broadcasting club, but she chose not to comment. On her first day as a member of the broadcasting club, Ho Rang is a few minutes late, which makes Eun Taek very upset because he really hates people who can't make it on time. Although, at first, she wants to defend herself, Ho Rang prefers to apologize so that she doesn't get kicked out of the broadcasting club. After she joined the broadcasting club, Ho Rang realized that, apparently, the selected message was anonymous, and only the club admin could find the account identity of the message sender. Knowing this, Ho Rang tries to show her best performance as a club member so she can have the opportunity to be promoted as a club admin. After school, Ho Rang bumps into So-hyun at the bus stop, but their interactions seem very awkward, as they had a history of bad friendships in junior high school. The next day when So-hyun has her shift as an announcer on the school radio, she gets the mysterious message previously shown to Ho Rang. Upon hearing the message, Ho Rang bursts into the broadcast room and challenges the anonymous sender to face her head-on instead of hiding like a coward. This incident causes a fight between So-hyun and Ho Rang because Ho Rang thinks that So-hyun has something to do with the anonymous message, considering that they had a bad relationship in the past. After the broadcast ended, Eun Taek came to the broadcast room and scolded Ho Rang for messing up the school broadcast. Consequently, he chooses to expel her from the broadcasting club and advises her not to bother other people's business just because she feels popular at school. Although Ho Rang is one of the most popular students in her school and has big followers on social media, she is an introverted student and often keeps to herself. Even though she has Yu Shin as her closest person, she is still too afraid to trust other people and prefers to keep her problems to herself. Yu Shin is one of the students who often acts silly and likes to make jokes in class just to make people around him laugh. Even though he always looks cheerful, as if he doesn't have the burdens of life, he also has his own problems. Regarding romance, Yu Shin's life is not as beautiful as his school life. He has been in love with So-hyun since their first meeting in the first year of school. But all of his struggles to get her love do not go smoothly because So-hyun is a student who is more concerned with school academic achievements and is not interested in having a romantic relationship with anyone. After the chaos caused by Ho Rang in the broadcasting room the other day, Eun Taek still can't understand why she could act like that. But when he sees the amount of hate speech and malicious comments on Ho Rang's social media account, Eun Taek begins to understand why she could be provoked by the anonymous message that was read yesterday. Therefore, Eun Taek decides to see Ho Rang and apologize for his harsh words yesterday. Fortunately, she accepts his apology, and their relationship gets better. The next day, Ho Rang is accepted into the school's broadcasting club again, and Eun Taek gives her a chance to become the broadcasting club's administrator. After opening the broadcast club's social media account, Ho Rang immediately checked the account of the mysterious message sender sent the other day, and found out that the message was sent by an account named Harley. When Ho Rang finds out that the account is friends with So-hyun's account, her suspicions about So-hyun become even stronger, and she begins to think that So-hyun knows the true identity of the account owner. In the evening, while Ho Rang is playing music in the broadcasting room, she accidentally destroys Eun Taek's vinyl record. When she is about to give Eun Taek some money to compensate for the vinyl, he refuses it and instead asks her to buy some snacks. That night, Eun Taek and Ho Rang decide to talk together in a park while enjoying some snacks they bought. During the conversation, she asks Eun Taek why he is so obsessed with time and hates people who are not punctual. He explains that being punctual means keeping promises they make to others, and he doesn't like people breaking their promises because it can hurt other people's feelings. The next day, Ho Rang begins to investigate the owner of Harley's account, who has been sending mysterious letters to the broadcasting club addressed to her, and she even asks So Hyun about it. But So Hyun admits that she doesn't know why the account is following her on social media, nor does she know who the account owner is. Before Ho Rang left, So Hyun mentioned Ho Rang's past actions of ignoring her when they were in the same junior high school, but Ho Rang chose not to give any response. Since Ho Rang joined the broadcasting club, she not only investigated the identity of the Harley account owner, but also learned many things at the club. The busy schedule at the broadcasting club means that Ho Rang often spends a lot of time with Eun Taek, and without her knowing it, Eun Taek secretly begins to show interest in her. After getting to know Ho Rang better, Eun Taek realizes that she isn't as bad as people think all along, and he thinks that Ho Rang is just a nice girl who can't express her own feelings in front of other people. Ho Rang and Eun Taek have almost the same problem where both are afraid to trust other people and prefer to keep their problems alone. He has to deal with his father, who always blames him for breaking their family since his mother left them when he was still young. That's why he prefers to keep himself busy with school activities rather than having to return home to a disharmonious family situation. On the other hand, Ho Rang still has a father and mother who love her very much, but they are always busy with their own jobs and never know about her problems. Her father and mother did not know about the incident that traumatized Ho Rang, and refused to celebrate her birthday since middle school. Even though she still has perfect parents, Ho Rang always feels lonely and doesn't dare to tell anyone about her problems. The only person who can comfort her is Yu Shin, who has always accompanied her and made her smile with his jokes. After Ho Rang got to know Eun Taek and learned a bit about his life, she was relieved that someone else had experienced the same loneliness and could understand her feelings. Ho Rang, who started to feel comfortable with Eun Taek's presence, had thought about telling him about her secret. Nevertheless, she immediately discouraged her because she feared Eun Taek would stay away from her after he knew about it. In his class, Eun Taek befriends a student named Yeon Woo Jin, an honor student who also joins the school committee organization. Like Eun Taek, Woo Jin is an excellent student who puts academics first and relies more on logic than feelings. However, he has a girlfriend who has a very different personality from him. In contrast to Woo Jin, who is strict and closed, his girlfriend, Kang Jae-yi, is a very open and expressive girl. Because they have very different personalities, they often misunderstand and often fight. But at the end of the day, they will usually reconcile. At one time, Jae-yi realizes that all this time, Woo Jin still doesn't open up to her, and pretends to like something to make her happy. Although Woo Jin wants to play a good boyfriend for her, Jae-yi wants him to be upfront about what he likes and doesn't like instead of lying all the time just to please her. His attitude makes Jae-yi feel that she is dating a robot without feelings, making her very upset and sad. The next day, Jae-yi reveals her relationship problems with Woo Jin anonymously to the broadcasting club's social media. Unexpectedly, Ho Rang, who happens to have the turn to broadcast that day, selects the message sent by Jae-yi and reads the message out on the school radio broadcast. After reading and understanding the problems faced by Jae-yi and Woo Jin, Ho Rang gave advice for them to talk to each other and improve their communication, so that they would not continue to misunderstand and fight. After the broadcast ends, Jae-yi comes to the studio to ask about Ho Rang's opinion regarding her relationship with Woo Jin. On the other hand, Woo Jin, who heard the broadcast, seems to have realized his mistake and decided to ask Jae-yi to meet after school. At first, Jae-yi was happy because she thought that Woo Jin wanted to improve their relationship, but it turned out that he deliberately asked her to meet just to end their relationship. Woo Jin explains that he has really liked Jae-yi since their first meeting at the tutoring center, but he was too afraid to confess his feelings. Unexpectedly, Jae-yi took the initiative to approach him first, and he was very happy about that. Woo Jin feels that their different characters make it hard for them to understand each other, so it would be better for both of them to end the relationship than to fight all the time, which would only make Jae-yi feel sad. One day, the broadcasting club again held a meeting to discuss their preparations for the school festival, which would be held in a few days. All members of the broadcasting club agree to do a radio broadcast in front of an entire audience on air, where Ho Rang will broadcast live on stage. Days before the festival, Ho Rang keeps getting terror messages from Harley's account, who shockingly finds out that she is the admin of the broadcasting club. Harley's account continues to send messages to the broadcasting club's social media account and mentions that she will reveal the secrets of Ho Rang's past to everyone. On the other hand, So-hyun is still getting lots of attention from Yoo-shin, who hasn't given up on getting her love. She is quite a popular girl at school, but So-hyun is more comfortable hanging out with male students than female students. This habit makes girls who hate So-hyun spread bad rumors about her by saying she has had relationships with many men. She is aware of the attention Yoo-shin has been giving her all this time, but she still feels comfortable with their current friendship. On the other hand, Jae-yi and Woo-jae still can't forget each other even though they've separated for several weeks. Both of them still think about each other because they still really like each other. In contrast to Jae-yi and Woo-jae's love affair, which didn't work out, the relationship between Ho Rang and Eun Taek actually got closer thanks to the time they often spent together during club activities. At first, she still doesn't realize the feelings that Eun Taek has for her. But as time passes, the attention that he gives makes Ho Rang feel comfortable beside him. One night, Eun Taek asked Ho Rang why she never defended herself when people insulted her. She says that she could have defended herself 1,000 times, and yet people will still believe what they want to believe. Shortly after that, Eun Taek gets a phone call from his mother saying she can't attend the meeting she promised. Even though she had promised to meet Eun Taek several times, she always failed to keep that promise, making him think that his mother didn't love him anymore. Eun Taek, starting to feel comfortable with Ho Rang, tried to tell her about his problems with his mother, and she gave some suggestions to help him. Before they go home, Eun Taek suddenly confesses his feelings to Ho Rang that night, but he won't press her for an answer in person, giving her time to think about it. On the night of the school festival, all the students gather in the auditorium to watch the performances of the school's various clubs. This is an open festival that can be attended by students from other schools. The festival was lively, with various stunning performances such as dance performances, music performances, and drama performances. While the drama was going on, a boy from another school who knew So-hyun from social media approached her and asked her to go on a date. He kept pushing So-hyun to go with him, but she refused the offer and clarified that she was not interested in him. After So-hyun left, Yoo-shin, who overheard their conversation, immediately approached the young man and asked him not to disturb her again. Yoo-shin then goes over to So-hyun to make sure that she is okay. Then he tells her that he understands that So-hyun is still not interested in having a relationship with anyone, and he is willing to wait until she is ready to accept his feelings and have a relationship with him. When it was Ho Rang's turn to do the radio broadcast on stage, many people cheered and were very enthusiastic about her presence and the performance that she would show. Ho Rang's radio broadcast was also broadcast live via the Broadcasting Club's YouTube channel. Soon after, she started reading all the selected messages sent to the Broadcasting Club's social media accounts. But in the middle of the broadcast, which was watched by many people, Ho Rang again found a terror message from Harley's account threatening that the person would soon reveal the secret that she had been hiding all this time. After Harley's account finished counting down in the chat column, which was broadcast live, all students were shocked by a photo that was spread across the school group, where in the photo Ho Rang is seen with some of her seniors in junior high. The account that sent the photo said that when Ho Rang was in junior high school, she had been involved in a bullying case, and the news shocked everyone. All the students in the audience immediately turned on their cell phone cameras and pointed them at her face to record her reaction to the news. The panicked Ho Rang immediately fell limp on the stage floor without being able to put up any defense. The situation became even more chaotic when all the students urged her to explain the case. It turns out that the owner of the Harley account who had been terrorizing her and spreading the word about the bullying was a girl named Hae-soo, a member of the Broadcasting Club who had been holding grudges against her. When the situation gets chaotic and all the students start to corner Ho Rang, So-hyun yells at the organizers to turn off the lights and close the stage curtains. Eun Taek rushes over to Ho Rang and takes her away to a safer place so the other students won't intimidate her physically or mentally. He doesn't press Ho Rang to give him any explanation because he is sure that she isn't a bad person like what the news tells. Knowing that, Ho Rang thanks him for trusting her and immediately go home to calm herself down. The next day, Ho Rang went to school casually as if nothing had happened, and even went back to broadcasting activities in the studio as usual. Seeing the tough attitude shown by Ho Rang, Hae-soo is a little surprised, but she still pretends to be nice in front of her. Jae-yi and Yoo-shin, who have recently started to get close to Ho Rang, also try to ask her about the truth of the bullying rumors directly. They are relieved that the bullying case was fake news and that she was not a bully. It turns out that Ho Rang only pretends to be strong in front of everyone but prefers to hide the pain alone because she is still not ready to reveal the truth. After school, Ho Rang was approached by a girl named Soon-ju, who was her former senior when she was in middle school. Soon-ju was a senior who used to bully Ho Rang when she was in junior high school, and actually, she was not the bully but the victim of the bully. The photo distributed by Hae-soo in the school group shows Ho Rang's face, but the story she spread does not match the facts that actually happened. People easily conclude that Ho Rang is the bully because of her cold and arrogant attitude. Soon-ju deliberately approached Ho Rang to warn her not to reveal the truth because doing so could damage her reputation, which has recently become popular on social media. On the other hand, So-hyun is curious about what happened to Ho Rang and decides to investigate the bullying case that recently changed her name. After school, Eun Tak saw Ho Rang crying alone in the school garden, and he took the initiative to comfort her by inviting her to watch a movie together. On that occasion, he says he will wait until Ho Rang is willing to open up to him because he understands she is still afraid to trust other people. The next day, So-hyun approaches Ho Rang to ask what happened to her and why she dumped her years ago. However, instead of telling So-hyun the truth, Ho Rang asks her not to find out more about the bullying case and leaves her immediately. On the other hand, Hae-soo is frustrated when she discovers that some people are still willing to support Ho Rang and accompany her. Ho Rang still has Yushin, Eun Tak, and Woo Jae, who are always by her side, and Jae, who has recently been visiting her apartment frequently since she broke up with Woo Jae. Jae, who is very worried about Ho Rang, wants to ensure that she will be okay and helps her ignore all the malicious comments that have terrorized her. When the school holds a spiritual camp, interactions between Woo Jae and Jae are still awkward, but it's clear that they still really like each other. On the other hand, Yushin feels very happy because he can spend a lot of time with So-hyun. At night, Jae accidentally calls Woo Jae when she checks their conversation history, and unexpectedly, Woo Jae immediately responds. He invites Jae to meet secretly in a warehouse, and they begin to express their longing for each other. They were silent for a moment before finally kissing each other intimately to celebrate their love that had blossomed again, and re-establish their love relationship. That same night, Ho Rang rushes out of the dorm and looks for Jae when she finds out she is not in her room. But unexpectedly, Ho Rang meets Eun Tak, who wants to tell her about his problems. While sitting by the pool, Eun Tak talks about his parents' divorce and his mother, who left him when he was little. All this time, his mother often promised to meet him. But his mother always broke the promise, which is why he hates people who can't keep their promises. Ho Rang advised Eun Tak to see his mother in person and talk to her so that he could understand what made his mother always break that promise. Ho Rang explains that some people in this world prefer to hide from the people they care about to protect them. After the spiritual camp ended, Eun Tak went to see his mother, as suggested by Ho Rang. Through that meeting, he finds out that his mother has a new family, but he can only remain silent without being able to give any comments. Before parting ways, his mother apologizes to Eun Tak for what she did to him years ago. Eun Tak's mother had tried to see him several times to say goodbye properly, but she was too afraid to face separation a second time. She admits she feels very sorry after leaving him and still loves him very much. After hearing the explanation from his mother, Eun Tak finally understood the meaning of what Ho Rang had said earlier. Even though he still can't fully recover from the pain left by his mother, he is relieved to know that his mother still loves him very much. On the other hand, So-hyun is still investigating the bullying case involving Ho Rang because she still has concerns about Ho Rang. After investigating the various clues she found, So-hyun immediately became suspicious of Hae-soo's movements and began to think that she was the mastermind behind all this chaos. Then So-hyun tries to approach Hae-soo and finds the passcode of her cell phone so that she can confirm whether her suspicions about Hae-soo are true. After So-hyun secretly checks Hae-soo's phone, she looks surprised to find out that the person who shared photos of Ho Rang on the day of the festival was Hae-soo, and that she was also the one who had always been terrorizing Ho Rang using her fake account named Harley. That night, after So-hyun deleted Ho Rang's photos from Hae-soo's cell phone, then she went to Hae-soo to ask for an explanation of what Hae-soo had done to Ho Rang so far. Hae-soo angrily said that she hated Ho Rang because, according to her, Ho Rang deserved all that hate for all the things she had done in the past. Here it is revealed that Hae-soo was in the same middle school as Ho Rang and So-hyun. She hates her because she got rejection when she was trying to befriend Ho Rang. She doesn't realize that Ho Rang rejects her because Ho Rang doesn't want her to become a victim of bullying from the seniors who bullied her all this time. Hae-soo was very disappointed by what Ho Rang did to her until finally, she found out that Ho Rang had been bullied by the seniors at their junior high school all this time. One night, Hae-soo accidentally sees seniors trying to bully Ho Rang at a karaoke place on her birthday. That is why she has never celebrated her birthday again because of the trauma she experienced in middle school. After knowing about the truth, So-hyun could only cry sadly, realizing that Ho Rang had deliberately avoided her all this time to protect her from the bullies who had been bothering her. She feels very sorry and can only blame herself because she couldn't help Ho Rang when Ho Rang was in difficult times. Then So-hyun asks Hae-soo to stop harassing Ho Rang and spreading false news about the bullying case. But unfortunately, her warning did not make Hae-soo stop her action, and even Hae-soo was even more reckless by spreading several photos when Ho Rang was bullied by her senior in the karaoke room. At first, Hae-soo wants to embarrass Ho Rang by showing that she is a victim of bullying. But it turns out that people actually think that Ho Rang is the bully. Seeing this situation, Hae-soo didn't feel sorry. But instead, she pretended to be a victim of Ho Rang's bullying so that people would corner Ho Rang even more so that in the end, her friends stayed away from her. After Hae-soo posts a false confession on the school's website, So-hyun immediately goes to her to ask her to delete the post. But accidentally, So Hyun actually saw Ho Rang, who was talking secretly with Hae-soo. It turns out that Ho Rang had known that Hae-soo was the owner of the Harley account and the one who had been spreading fake news in the school group. Hae-soo smiled with satisfaction and said she deliberately confessed to bringing Ho Rang together with her former best friend, who was none other than So Hyun. When Ho Rang sees So Hyun arriving at the scene, she thinks So Hyun has known all along and enjoys the charade Hae-soo creates. She ran away from the place, but So Hyun immediately stopped her and explained that she had only found out about the truth the other day. While crying, So Hyun revealed that she felt tormented because she couldn't do anything to help her suffering friend. Seeing the friend she loves get hurt, Ho Rang becomes confused and doesn't know what to do. She hopes that So Hyun never knows about it, or at least pretends not to know about it, even though she already knows the truth. Since Hae-soo's fake confession spread on the school's website, everyone starts to sympathize with her, and she finally gets the attention she's wanted. Seeing this situation, Ho Rang chose to admit to being the perpetrator of the bullying and pretend to be arrogant in front of everyone rather than look weak, and invite other bullies who might annoy her. Actually, the reason why Ho Rang has been acting arrogant in front of everyone all this time is to protect herself from bullies who might hurt her in the future. But when Ho Rang returns to remember all the good treatment shown by those closest to her, like Jae, Yushin, and Eun Tak, she starts to realize that she doesn't need to pretend to be strong in front of everyone. Then she decides to go see Eun Tak and tell him the truth about the bullying she experienced in middle school. The next day, Ho Rang reveals what happened in the past via the school radio broadcast. She chooses not to reveal the real identity of the perpetrator who has been bullying her because she doesn't want to make matters worse. At the same time, So Hyun also presented evidence proving that all of Hae-soo's confessions were lies, which was just an act she created to destroy Ho Rang's reputation. After exposing her lies, everyone who used to sympathize with Hae-soo turned against her and started to isolate her. At the same time, Yushin, Jae, and some of her other friends are relieved when Ho Rang dares to tell the truth to everyone. Then she goes to meet So Hyun and thanks her. Because of So Hyun's support, she found the courage to tell the truth. Since then, their friendship, which was still awkward at first, slowly got better and they returned to being friends like before. The same thing happened to Woo Jae and Jae, who are now more harmonious after they understand each other. Meanwhile, all the struggles that Yushin does to get So Hyun's love are successful. She was finally willing to accept Yushin as her priority even though they had yet to make their relationship official. Unlike Yushin and So Hyun, Ho Rang and Eun Tak have decided to make their relationship official after knowing they can understand each other's feelings. When things are going well for Ho Rang, Hae-soo must accept the consequences of everything she has done. Before she leaves to transfer to a new school, Ho Rang advises Hae-soo to change and start making friends with people who accept her for who she is. After all the good things at school, Ho Rang and her friends start going about their normal activities and being themselves without anything to hide. The film closes with a scene where Ho Rang attends a school festival, and everyone warmly welcomes her. The moral that can be learned from this movie is that having many people as friends or having more allies is not a competition because, basically, only people who sincerely accept us will always support us and stay by our side until the end.